Hey, good afternoon, and welcome to another edition of Ralph's Opinion. Now, today we are here on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter platforms. Again, there have been some technical issues with Blog Talk Radio, so we had to move the show today to our live streaming here on live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter platforms. Oh, yes, absolutely. We are here today. Ralph's Opinion, and we're here every day at 11:30 a.m. We're normally on Blog Talk Radio, 563-999-3740 is usually what number you will need to call to listen to the program every single day, 7 days a week, 11:30 a.m. right here with me, Ralph Williams. It's called Ralph's Opinion, and we are in the First Consulting Services Studios. 1-877-926-6982 is the number to call for all your website needs with First Line Consulting Services. And they are our studio sponsor here on Ralph's Opinion and all RW Media production shows. All right, you want to call them today if you need a website put up. They will manage it. They will put it up for you, and they will also upload all your videos. So make sure you get a hold of First Line Consulting Services Studios. That number again, 1-877-926-6982. All right, today we have a lot to talk about, as we do every day here on Ralph's Opinion. And what I want to talk about today is we're going to start off with our first segment. It's about U.S. Steel, okay? And the first segment is brought to you in part today by Mata Heating and Air Conditioning. Call Mata today, 724-201-0500, Mata Heating and Air Conditioning. They have geothermal furnaces, radiant floors, humidifier service contracts, heat pumps, air conditioning, snow melt, air cleaner, and UV lighting. So check out Mata Heating and Air Conditioning. Go on their Facebook page and their website as well. But you can call them at 724-201-0500. If you need your furnace cleaned or something done with anything heating and air conditioning, call Mata Heating and Air Conditioning today. Ask for Bill and tell them you heard it here on Ralph's Opinion right here today. We are live today on our platforms, our normal social media platforms. Reason being is because of the issues that we're having with Blog Talk Radio today. So until those tech issues are figured out, we will be broadcasting here every morning at 11:30 a.m. Don't forget to tune in to Ralph's Opinion. All right. Today, I want to talk about the U.S. Steel sale today. U.S. Steel was sold to a Japanese company, Daniel-san. Come on, Daniel-san. You're going to be saying U.S. Steel-san. Oh, absolutely. Because you know why? Japanese people, normally, did you ever see the movie Gung Ho? That was a Japanese company who came into Hadleysville, Pennsylvania. It was filmed here in Pittsburgh. The county airport was Hadleyville's airport. And a lot of it was a great show. It was a funny movie with Michael Keaton in it. He was in charge, or the union rep, for the guys, or the rep from the company for the company as it in regards to the service, or in regards to the Japanese people taking over the car plant. And they didn't want to do exercises. They didn't want to do. There were a lot of things that this company kind of wanted to do, but didn't. All right. And the basic thing here is that I'm not opposed to this, because U.S. Steel has been sort of, I wouldn't say they're not broke, but I was trying to say that they're a stable company. But what bothers me about them the most is, and I call them useless steel here in Pittsburgh. Reason I call them useless steel is because I am tired of U.S. Steel, okay, building plants in other cities and not here in Pittsburgh. They still have a few plants. They have the Coke Works in Clairton. They have the Edgar Thompson in Braddock. And they have a few other plants maybe lurking around here that I'm not aware of. But those are the two main ones that they have here in the Pittsburgh area, okay? Even though they're headquartered here, I think that somebody should put pressure on them to build plants here in Pittsburgh. They built a mess of them in Gary, Indiana, Texas, and some other cities, okay? And I get it. Pittsburgh is a tough place when it comes to taxes, when it comes to sheltered breaks, when it comes to a lot of different things. And right now, we have this progressive movement who don't seem to want to cooperate with businesses, especially corporations like I call them useless steel, because I feel that they haven't done really much of anything to really bring about anything here in this town. What have they done lately to bring in any new steel plants? They built them in every other city. All right. Now, do you find that to be rather coincidental that they've done that? And with these Japanese people taking over, maybe, just maybe, we can get some new plants built here, create some more jobs. And I know what you're saying. You got all these environmentalists out there that are going to complain, bitch, and moan and get all worked up and angry and say, okay, here we are. We're going to get angry because it's an environmental impact. All right. U.S. Steel's already having an environmental impact. They're already having issues. You know what? I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear it at all, because we need to get some more jobs in here. We need to get this company. We need to get on this company to bring more plants here and stop building them everywhere else. And don't tell me there's no land. There's probably land everywhere you can find it. I don't care if you built it outside the city. I don't care if you built it here in this state at least. Okay? Quit messing around. I heard there was a plant by U.S. Steel that was once up in Erie that they closed up, and for some strange reason, I don't know why. But what I'm saying is that U.S. Steel needs to build here, and our politicians, who probably won't do anything about it, and they'll come up with some kind of an excuse not to what they call, not to say, oh, I don't want to say anything to U.S. Steel. I don't want to piss them off. Well, you know what? They've already been pissed off. All right. They lied to this city. And those of you who don't know, they lied. And let me tell you how they lied. They kept saying they were going to do this. They were going to do that. They didn't fix things at the Clairton Works. They got fines galore at the Yin Yang. All right. And now they have come up with an electric locomotive for their railroad to appease the environmental people, to appease the county, to appease everybody for this. And that is where we stand right now on U.S. Steel. Okay. And that's Ralph's opinion today. And that was this segment about U.S. Steel was brought to you by Mata Heating and Air Conditioning, 724-201-0500. Anything heating and cooling related, you need to call Mata Heating and Air Conditioning. All right. Our next segment is about Pope Francis. P6 Auto Detailing is the sponsor of this segment. Call them today. They're in New Kensington, PA. And that number is 412-965-6578, P6 Auto Detailing in New Kensington, Pennsylvania. Give them a call today for all of your detailing needs for your car. They are number one professionals at detailing cars, and we're here in the First Line Consulting Services studios. I'm Ralph Williams, and this is my new show called Ralph's Opinion. We have been broadcasting on Blog Talk Radio, but there's some tech issues. So from now on, when there's tech issues with Blog Talk Radio, we will move it here to my format of social media here, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter X platforms. It's on every morning at 11:30 a.m. on Blog Talk Radio. Call 563-999-3740 if you want to listen in. That's if there's no tech issues. There has been since Friday. They've had some different issues. They just were able to process my last two shows that I did Saturday and Sunday. So go into Blog Talk Radio /RW Media and check out my Ralph's Opinion, the archive versions of those shows. Also, last Wednesday's Wrestle Talk is on there as well if you want to check that out with me, Smoking Jim Frazier, and Bubba Brewer. Pope Francis, 87 years old. How about that? How about Pope Francis? Okay. And it's great. It's great to hear that Pope Francis is 87 years old. He's lived to be that long. Some popes, they don't live to be too long. Some do, some don't. It all depends on what God wants to do. If God wants you to be there with him, you're going to be there with him. Okay? If that's where you're headed. But anyway, other than that, Pope Francis has put blessings on same-sex marriages. Now, my question to you is, Do you like same-sex marriages? Do you support it? Well, I sort of have to a little bit, and I do support it a little bit because it's up to you what you want to do with yourself. I don't necessarily support it, but we have to learn to live with it because it's there. And now the Catholic Church is starting to get into it now. Okay, and I remember I have an old friend of mine named Monsignor Vic, who here in Pittsburgh, and I used to do some DJ work for him in his ministry. And he said that the Orthodox Catholics were starting to get into gay marriage, and he said he wasn't doing it. That's what he told him when he went to the national conference. And this was, we're going back now 4 or 5 years ago. So the Catholic Church is starting to sort of practice this. They're practicing getting familiar with same-sex marriage, but there are strict Catholics out there that don't approve of this. Okay. And I don't blame them because the Catholic faith is a very strict faith. They believe in, they don't believe in sex before marriage. They don't believe in, many different things that are different from the other faiths, the Methodists, the Presbyterians, the Baptists, whatever different faith you're in, the Pentecostal, even if you're in whatever faith you're in, there's a lot of them now worshiping the gay marriage or worshiping the gay sexes, coming to church. And that was something back in the day. And if you talk to some of the old time Catholics, they never really did that, okay, or approved of it. And, for Monsignor Vic to tell me that the Orthodox Catholic was doing it, that is when he even had some guys who were in his flock or in his ministry that were gay, and they wanted him to marry them. And he told them no. He says, I'm not doing it here. So they went to some other church. They got married. They were with that church for a little while. And then they got frustrated. And of course, Jesus never turned anybody down that ever wanted to hear him speak. So God doesn't turn anybody down. If you're gay or whatever, if that's what you choose to do, good for you. Now, I'm going to come out and admit I have a sister. Her name is Jill, and she's married to a woman and has been for many years. Okay? But I'm not angry with her. If that's what makes her happy, good for her. Okay? And I support her for what she does because she's my sister. But I may not like it, but I support it when it comes to family. All right? I know some of you out there probably don't support gay marriage. A lot of people don't like gay marriage. They're not happy about gay marriage. They don't even want nothing to do with it. You have, what do they call them? Because I'm one too. What you call it, minister? One of those. I can't even remember it right now off the top of my head. They call them the ministers that that you hire. They're non-denominational, and they're also officiant. That's it, officiant ministers. I'm an officiant minister. All right, I haven't exercised myself yet because I haven't had the time, and but I'm thinking about doing it. I'm an officiant minister. I've been approached, or at one time was approached about a gay wedding. I didn't do it because I had another obligation. In case those of you who don't know, I DJ on the side as well. I've DJ'd 2 gay weddings in my lifetime by myself. Now, I've done a few with my DJ partner, and we've done some gay weddings, and we've been there and done it. Okay, I know caterers that were thankful when Pennsylvania passed a law for legalizing gay marriage, because now the caterers are going to make a ton of money. And who cares if they're gay? It's all about the Benjamins. It's all about money, businesses, people who are officiant ministers, and that's how they make their money. And that's all well and great. Okay, you don't have to support it, but or you don't have to like it. But sometimes there are people out there that support it, and I know people out there that don't even like gay marriage. They don't like gays. They don't like lesbians. And that's fine. That's why in this country we have what they call freedom of speech and expression. And that's one of the reasons why gays and lesbians in this society today and in our country, we cannot do anything about what they do. All right. This next segment, we're going to talk about Ukraine, and that's brought to you by Fold and Travel Mobility. Are you handicapped, disabled? I am. I'm a handicapped, disabled. I'm in a wheelchair. And Have you felt down lately because you need a power chair that folds up so your life can be better? Well, I have the solution to your problem. Fold and Travel Mobility, the specialist at having the best folding power chairs. Call the professionals today at Fold and Travel Mobility, 1-877 GOT FOLD. That's 1-877 GOT FOLD. That's Fold and Travel Mobility.com. Also, check out their website. They have a great selection. And if you can't afford one right now, you can do instant financing. Check out their financing options, and also check out their holiday specials. You might be able to get one 50% off. So check out Fold and Travel Mobility. All right, .com. All right, this next segment, we're going to talk about Ukraine. Now, Ukraine now is crying the blues because they have to cut military operations because aid has dried out. Yeah, because the United States of America Bank, Vladimir Sabinsky or Zelensky or Zabuski, whatever your name is, has run out. The bank is empty. The United States has had enough of paying for this war, and it's breaking our country. Now, there are some politicians out there. One of them, again, I was really surprised at, and that was Mitch McConnell. I was really surprised of all the Republicans that he would be the one who would support Ukraine. Okay? He says it's about the security of our country. Yes, it is. But let's stop doing this. All right? We are in NATO is supposed to be helping out with this. Where's the UN at? How come United Nations hasn't helped out with this? I want to know where they are. Okay? NATO is useless as tits on a bull. All right? None of these other countries, back in when Trump was the president, he got us out of NATO. He got the United States out, and I was so happy because you know why? NATO is useless. And we have to do all the work all the time. We have to supply all the troops all the time. We're supplying too much money all the time. Some of these other countries that are in NATO need to start contributing a little bit more to the cause. All right? Ukraine is not going to function on their own fighting against Russia. They do need aid. But it's time for others to step up. Where's the UN? Why are they not involved in this? I remember when NATO and UN were involved in a couple different conflicts that we were involved in. All right, but I don't get none of this. I get none of it at all, that our country has to fork it all out. We have other issues right now. We have Israel with Hamas. We have China on our backs because we're supporting Taiwan. Okay, we have Russia and the thing with Ukraine. We have North Korea launching missiles. We have so much on our plate right now, and so much of our military scattered everywhere in our ships and everything else. We don't have the time to officially deal with Ukraine. And right now we're in the middle of everything here. Okay, we just sent special forces troops into Syria to weed out some militants who were involved in the Hamas thing with Israel. All right, we're doing a lot of different things right now, and our country doesn't need to deal with Ukraine. All right, and I know what you're probably saying. Well, Ralph, we need to do this for our security of our country. We're securing our country. Once again, we're being everybody's policeman, and we need to start worrying about our own country. We have problems here. All right, and here's the thing that really gets me. Is you got these ads. You see these commercials on TV, those of you who watch TV. I know a lot of you don't anymore. But if you watch TV and you see the advertisements and the commercials and the stuff about aid for Ukraine. Well, let me ask you this, Vladimir Zelensky. What has happened to the billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars that over the last year or so that the United States has given you? What have you done with it? Ralph's opinion is this: done with Ukraine. Let them fight themselves or get in other NATO countries. Where's the UN? I want to know where all this is at. And this is poor leadership from our president and his advisors. And it's poor leadership from his cabinet, because they should be over there getting on all these countries to help out a little bit more. Germany, oh, well, we're going to send a couple tanks in. Whoop-de-doo. Okay? As Archie Bunker would say, whoop-de-doo. All right? And that, today, is Ralph's opinion about Ukraine. All right, next we're going to talk about a fast food chain that has filed for bankruptcy, and it doesn't surprise me at all. All right, but Sleep Pittsburgh is the sponsor of this segment. Call Sleep Pittsburgh today, 412-462-7858. They're in the Homestead section of Pittsburgh, right outside of Pittsburgh, right along the Mon Valley. Stop by, check out their inventory. They have mattresses, day beds. They have futons. They have lift chairs. If you're handicapped, you need to get a lift recliner. They have lift chairs. All right, check out Sleep Pittsburgh today. Also, check out their website, sleeppittsburgh.com. No credit check financing as well, which is great if you have some issues with your credit. So check out Sleep Pittsburgh's website.com or call them today, 412-462-7858. Tell them you heard it here. Sleep Pittsburgh for the best sleep tonight. Boston Market is filing for bankruptcy. Does that surprise you? We had about 6 of them here in the Pittsburgh area, and we had one that I recently went to about 2 years ago out in Warrendale, PA, which is in Butler County, right outside of Pittsburgh. And, the interesting story here is I went there, I stopped there. I was on my way to a DJ gig. I stopped there to get some dinner. Okay. Food was good. They had one over in the Shady Side section of the city of Pittsburgh. Got cited for mice problems. Employees not washing their hands. Employees blowing their nose, picking their butt, doing all that other stuff at this Boston Market. Now let's talk about the one that was in Green Tree, which is a section of Pittsburgh. Okay. They boarded that up. That's closed. You want to know why? Thanksgiving, 3 years ago, they screwed a bunch of people. What happened was they took reservations, Thanksgiving restaurants and the hotels and just all kinds of people. They have what they call Thanksgiving to go. Okay. So I've ordered from Buca di Beppo, and I suggest you don't do that. They need to stick to what they know, and that's Italian food. Okay. Bob Evans has it. Cracker Barrel has it. There are some other restaurants that have this turkey to go where you can order turkey, mashed potatoes, the fixins, the whole meal for yourself, depending on the size of what you want to order. Okay. Well, Boston Market was into that, and they messed it all up because you know what happened? Their employees never showed up for work. Now, my question is this. I know that you were there at 5 o'clock in the morning, which is what they said they did, and they were ready to prepare the meals. So why weren't these meals prepared, or at least some of this prep, done overnight? Okay, that's what I want to know. And then that way, even if employees don't show up, which they didn't do, okay, and we all know about that, I'm not going into that today on this show because I have gone into it too many times. But I will say this: we're still living in a lazy, nobody cares society where the employees never showed up for work that day, and all the orders and all the people that went to get their orders got screwed. Okay. I stopped doing business with that Boston Market. I blasted them on my former show the way I see it. And the one in Shady Side I stopped dealing with a while back. I found out they were using white containers to put food in separate different things. And then when the person that told me about this said she ordered mashed potatoes, they said we haven't had mashed potatoes in 3 months. So Boston Market is now filing for bankruptcy. Does that surprise you with what I've just told you here? I don't know what the other ones do in any other city. All right, excuse me for a minute here. Anyway, we'll get into our next segment where we're going to talk a little bit about Tommy Lee and Coney Island in Ohio, not the one in New York. But we're going to talk a little bit about Tommy Lee, the drummer of Motley Crue. But first, this segment brought to you by Hillcrest Farm, Richmond, Ohio. Call them today, 740-346-5442 or 740-632-2894 to get appropriate directions. Hillcrest Farms, Ohio at gmail.com. And also check out their website. They are shipping, www.hillcrestfarmsohio.com. Some of the best fresh hay grain beef one of their package deals, ground beef special, $95, 20 pounds of ground beef. Hillcrest Farm, Richmond, Ohio, right up the hill from Steubenville, 45 minutes from downtown Pittsburgh. Hillcrest Farm, Richmond, Ohio. Tommy Lee, real quick here. We have about 4 minutes left in the show. Tommy Lee, the drummer for Motley Crue, is being accused by and being sued now. Not accused, sued by a woman. Now listen to this. These women all of a sudden they need money. So what do? They start going and suing stars for ludicrous things and erroneous stuff. So this woman here must need money. She's suing Tommy Lee. She claims Tommy Lee back in 2003 decided to expose or forced himself on her in the cockpit of a helicopter. Let me tell you something. I've ridden in a helicopter, and there's not a lot of space there. So don't tell me that he forced himself on you in a helicopter. My next question is, what did the pilot do about it? Or wasn't there anyone else in there with this woman? And this is back in 2003 now. Okay? And we're talking about 20 years ago. And you want to file a lawsuit against Tommy Lee now? Come on. Really? All right. But that's my Ralph's opinion on that. I think it's ludicrous. I think this woman has no case, and I think she's a gold digger, and that's exactly Ralph's opinion on that. All right. Our next segment is brought to you by draft412.com. Draft412.com is a website that has all of your draft information that you need for any kind of a draft, NBA, NHL, Major League Baseball, or the NFL. Get on their website today. They have a $9 a month inbox type of an e-magazine that they will send to your email in your inbox. $9 a month is all it is, and you can get all this valuable information from draft412.com. Coney Island, not the one in New York, but the one near Cincy, is closing up. How do you like this? And guess what they're putting in there? An outdoor amphitheater. Oh my. I guess it'll be like Star Lake, where you have to park your car in a parking lot, go 2 miles to get to your seat, or 1 mile to get to the gate, 2 miles to get to your seat. I'm handicapped, so I get special privileges. But if you're not handicapped, you still got to walk another 2 miles from the parking lot. By the time you're done, you're tired. You don't even want to watch the show. Or if you're there for a festival, look out. You better get enough sleep, because that's what's happening with the Coney Island near Cincinnati, Ohio. They're closed up. Their last day is this month, right after the Christmas light-up season. All right, we have about a minute or so left in the show. Bon Journey. I want to talk to you today about Bon Journey, who is a Bon Jovi and Journey tribute band. They've been around the country. They may have been in your city. I don't know. They play Bon Jovi and Journey songs. December 22nd, which is this Saturday, they will be at Jurgles in Warrendale, Rhythm and Brews, right on Brush Creek Road. And then December 31st, they'll be at the Winooski Winery out in Bell Vernon for their New Year's Eve party. So check out Bon Journey. All right, it's been another great broadcast of Ralph's Opinions. We had to bring it here because Blog Talk Radio is having tech issues. So we had to bring it here today to this forum. And when that happens on Blog Talk Radio, we will bring it here to this format. We're on every morning, 11:30 a.m., 563-999-3740, Blog Talk Radio. Call in. Now, if we're not on Blog Talk Radio, check out my social media pages on Facebook, YouTube, and also on Twitter X platforms, and also on LinkedIn as well. And I will give you all the information you need in regards to that. Have yourself a great day. It's a little cold out there, and if you're heading out on the road, you may want to bundle up in some places and others. You might be getting bad storms, so stay out of the way of the storms. Let them swim through and do their thing.